Crime in the United Kingdom describes acts of violent crime and non-violent crime that take place. Within the United Kingdom, courts and police systems are separated into three sections, based on the different judicial systems of England and Wales, Scotland, and Northern Ireland. Responsibility for crime in England and Wales is split between the Home Office, the government department responsible for reducing and preventing crime, along with law enforcement in the United Kingdom, and the Ministry of Justice, which runs the justice system, including its courts and prisons. In Scotland, this responsibility falls on the Crown Office and Procurator Fiscal Service, which acts as the sole public prosecutor in Scotland, and is therefore responsible for the prosecution of crime in Scotland. In its history, the United Kingdom has had a relatively normal relationship with crime. The United Kingdom's crime rate remains relatively low when compared to the rest of the world, especially among first world countries. As of 2019, the United Kingdom sits in 174th place for intentional homicide victims per 100,000 inhabitants at 1.20, while the United Kingdom remains a relatively peaceful country. As of January 2018, police figures have shown a sharp increase in violent crime and sex offences rates over the last few years. Comparing police recorded crime rates in the long term is difficult as police recording practices, the reliability of police recording and victims' willingness to report crime have changed over the years. There are two kinds of criminal trial in England and Wales: summary and on indictment. For an adult, summary trials take place in a magistrate's court, while trials on indictment take place in the Crown Court. Despite the possibility of two venues for trial, almost all criminal cases, however serious, commence in the magistrates' courts. Offences may also be deemed either way, depending on the seriousness of the individual offence. This means they may be tried in either the magistrates or Crown Court depending on the circumstances. A person may even be convicted by the magistrates' court and sent to the Crown for sentence. Furthermore, even if the magistrates retain the jurisdiction of an offence, the defendant has the right to elect for a Crown Court trial by jury. The jury is selected independently of the prosecution and the defence. The lowest level of criminal courts in Scotland are Justice of the Peace Courts. Compared to the English Welsh Magistrates' Court, their powers are more restricted. For example, they can only pass a prison sentence of up to 60 days. The Sheriff Court is the main criminal court. The Sheriff Court may be conducted for summary cases or solemn cases. The former is used for less serious crimes, in which the sheriff presides alone, while the latter is a jury trial. From the 10th of December 2007, the maximum penalty that may be imposed in summary cases is 12 months imprisonment or a £10,000 fine. In solemn cases, 5 years imprisonment or an unlimited fine. The highest criminal court in Scotland is the High Court of Justiciary. This is the trial court for the most serious crimes and an appeal court for other criminal cases. Among the differences with common law legal systems are that juries in Scotland have 15 members and only need a simple majority in order to give a verdict. Scottish courts can also give 3 verdicts: guilty, not guilty, and not proven. In Northern Ireland, magistrates' courts hear less serious criminal cases and conduct preliminary hearings in more serious criminal cases. The Crown Court in Northern Ireland hears more serious criminal cases. These are indictable offences and, either way, offences which are committed for trial in the Crown Court rather than the magistrates' courts. Northern Ireland has its own judicial system. The Lord Chief Justice of Northern Ireland is the entity that sits at the head of this system. The Department of Justice is the department responsible for the administration of the courts, which it runs through the Northern Ireland Courts and Tribunals Service. On top of this, the department also has responsibility for policy and legislation about criminal law, legal aid policy, the police, prisons and probation. Similar to the justice system in the United States, defendants are innocent until proven guilty, and on top of this, in order to be proven guilty, evidence must lead the judge or jury to make a decision based on the fact that it was beyond reasonable doubt. In England and Wales, There were 618,000 recorded violence against the person crimes which caused an injury in 2015. Other areas of crime included robbery. England and Wales had a prison population of 83,430, and a little more than the EU average. The homicide rate in the UK was 1.2 per 100,000 in 2016, the third highest rate in Western Europe, after Belgium and France. The homicide rate in England and Wales increased 39% from the 38-year low of 0.89 per 100,000 in 2000.